Everybody, welcome to the 105th episode of the Toys for Games podcast. We are doing this on a Thursday night, a very cold Thursday night, February 2nd, 2017. That's right, it's Groundhog's Day. You're going to hear this episode on loop forever. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined by the returning Dark Knight of Toys to Life news, the Rogue One himself, Jason Greer. Hi, Jason.
Good evening, Josh. How are we doing tonight?
Doing fantastic, my friend. Doing fantastic. It's nice to have you back.
Now, I'm glad to be back. Now, I will say, gotta give shout where shoutouts due.
Yeah.
Today, Groundhog's Day.
Uh-huh.
Also, my niece's first birthday. Lydia's first birthday. And also my mom's birthday. They both have
the same birthday?
Yeah.
Wow. Did I know that? I must have known that.
I don't know. I mean, this is only the second time it could have happened, obviously, last year and this year. So
Sure.
But it's weird coincidence, though.
Yeah.
That they would fall on the same birthday as Matt. So, happy birthday to Matt also.
Right. Of course, happy birthday to Matt. But happy birthday to your family members as well. Speaking of Matt, Matt did a bang-up job last week filling in for you on very short notice. You were dealing with a crisis of epic proportions. Like, when you texted me, like, you even, like, pointed out in the text, like, how rare it was that you were in the state of mind that you were, because, let's be real, you're not an angry guy. Not many things in this world get you legitimately upset. You're pretty positive about everything. Even sometimes when you get riled up, like, you're still able to make the most of the situation or spin it in a positive way. Like, you have a very positively infectious personality, and I think that's one of the reasons why all the listeners love you so much. But when you texted me, like, last week, like, you were in a different headspace that I don't think I've ever really, like, experienced with you. Like, if you've been in that kind of headspace in the last couple of years, you definitely haven't shared it with me. So that was, I was a little worried for you, but, like, I knew, like, there was nothing I could do, obviously, for you other than just to give you, like, the space that you needed to clear your head and move past the situation. But you were in rare form last week, my friend.
Yeah, it was not a very good night, but thankfully everything went well then, and got to take some deep breaths and back to my position.
Yes, but Matt stepped in, called him up off of our deep bench of replacement podcast hosts, and he was super concerned going in. Matt's so cute. Like, I was like, look, I don't want to do this show by myself. I hate talking to myself for that long. I don't think the audience enjoys it that much. I just need somebody to bounce some things off of, you know?
Sure.
I was like, plus, you can handle the Skylanders section. Like, you could talk as much as you want about Skylanders. Like, the floor is yours. But then, like, right before he started, he's like, okay, can I get the show notes? Like, I want to know what's, like, where do you get, like, the Amiibo news? And what are we talking about with, like, Lego Dimension? I'm like, Matt, just let me captain the ship, Matt. You just, you know, stand back and be there for moral support. But, you know, he was so nervous about, like, not being prepared for it.
Sure.
And I was like, Matt, we hardly prepare for the show. Like, we do this every week, and we hardly like, you already are thinking about preparing for the show is more preparation than we do for the show.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. He, you know, was a good sport. You know, obviously people pointed out that I forgot to wish him happy birthday in person, which I regret. You know, if I could go back in time, I'd definitely change that. But, you know, there's always tomorrow with Matt. So, anyway, thank you to Matt for stepping in and helping out and having a good show. Last week it was a news heavy show, so it wasn't like a show that we could just, you know, quickly do and move on from. It was surprisingly a lot of stuff to cover, which was even more unfortunate that you weren't there for it. But
yeah,
we pushed through.
I was all excited for the show because I was like, it's gonna be a fan-freaking-tastic show.
Yeah. Anyway, how about those Sixers?
Hey, man. Hanging in there. I watch them on the side right now. They're playing with 9 players.
Right.
Missing a bunch of players tonight.
Sure.
Against the Spurs.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, to be fair, the Spurs always play with 8 or 9 players too, because everybody's conveniently hurt at the same time.
Right. Well, they're I don't think there's anybody. Yeah, everybody except for one. B. Forbes has not entered the game yet. But Sixers, everybody else is, not really going.
Sure.
But they are now behind 5, but they were winning by 6 a couple minutes ago.
Sounds about right.
But they're a second half team. They like to toy with their team. So
yeah. Huh. Playoffs or no?
Oh, playoffs, absolutely.
Like, are you
as
saying
long
like
as Embiid stays healthy?
Okay. You think it's possible?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And then obviously we could get Ben Simmons in hopefully by the end of February.
Right.
And if he lives up to anything even close to his potential,
ooh boy,
all kinds of chaos.
Ooh boy.
Woo, Nelly.
It's a good time to be a 76ers fan, I tell you what.
Got that right. That right.
How about that Beauty and the Beast trailer?
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about this.
Hit me.
You have some beef with Gaston.
I do.
And I don't understand it.
Amy doesn't really either. He's just not, and I understand, like the cartoon version of stuff like they're like unhumanly big, but he just doesn't like. I just don't feel like intimidated or anything when I see him. You know, when I think of Gaston, I think of somebody like The Rock size. Obviously, I don't want The Rock playing Gaston.
I mean,
but
that would have been a pretty good choice, though.
That'd be solid. Like, I just don't feel like he's the overwhelming presence. Like Gaston's like someone who needs to own the room when he comes in,
right? And
I just don't feel it.
But then again, you've seen like 3 seconds of him on screen.
But I know who the actor is, so I know like him as himself, like him as a person, unless he grew a bunch of inches and turned into a muscular man.
See, okay, here's my problem with this: is you're associating the big presence and the intimidation factor and owning the room on physical size.
Absolutely.
Where like if this character is played correctly, I think mentally and emotionally they could have that same impact without being the gigantic bulking man that you want to see on film.
Sure. And I just don't think, I'll be honest, I don't think he's a physically attractive person either.
Sure.
Not saying he's not. I just don't think he's not, again, to play the character, he's supposed to be this, romanticizer.
But does that necessarily mean that he's supposed to be incredibly physically attractive, or is it just that he thinks he's incredibly physically attractive?
I think he, like, the women are all, like, I always picture Gaston as, like, all the ladies are actually all over him, except for Belle, because she's like, he's a hunk loser person.
But maybe that's more of, like
if we had Ryan Gosling the size of The Rock,
sure,
that'd be the perfect.
Right. Well, when they make that actor in a lab, every other actor could just quit their day jobs because he's gonna get cast in everything. Like, I don't know, like maybe it's not like his physical appearance that they're trying to go for, but like the cockiness and the ego that is the attractive qualities to him. But Belle sees it as like, that guy's full of himself type of thing.
Sure.
Maybe they're trying to, simmer down on the society norms of what used to be. Sure. I just think you're being too hard on Gaston, is all I'm saying.
See,
every time something comes up, you're just like, not so on Gaston. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Not so on Gaston, man.
I have more problems with the candlestick. What's his name?
Lumiere?
Yes. I don't think he looks the way I think he should look.
He looks like a statue.
Too small, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it needs to be bigger and more candlesticky.
Right.
Just
I feel like he's just like a statue that happens to have candles on it.
Yeah.
Versus like a candelabra.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. But again, maybe we just haven't seen enough. I don't know. I'm super stoked for the movie. Don't get me wrong, but
then on the flip side, to give like Amy some credit, like when her and I were talking about the other night, I feel like they've shown too much of the movie. Which, granted, it's a weird film to market because like you've all seen the movie 40 bajillion times, so like nothing's new on it.
Yeah.
But it's also at the same time, it's like there's no reveals left.
Sure.
Except for just the music tracks, you know.
Right.
But like, there's so much they could have held back. Like they're even sending out character posters of the people, the actors who are playing Lumiere, and them, like what they look like not as the candles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there's no point, you know.
Right.
Like I guess they're trying to advertise the actors of the voices for them.
Sure.
But it's just like I don't want to see that, you know.
I mean, I feel like they kind of did the same thing with Cinderella a couple years ago. Yeah. But like even after watching the movie, I still felt like there was enough of what I hadn't seen before that it felt okay that they had shown so much. But I kind of agree. Like the last trailer, I felt was like just a little bit too long and just showed a little bit too much.
Sure.
Like even we all know the story of Beauty and the Beast at this point. Like
right.
Nobody is, you know. Okay. There are definitely going to be some people that this is the first time ever seen anything Beauty and the Beast related, and that's a shame.
Sure.
But for the most part, a majority of the audience that is going to be watching Beauty and the Beast has already seen the animated film, knows the story, is, you know, in on what's going to happen. So, like, spoiler-wise, like, they could get away with anything, but at the same time, just don't open that curtain so far back.
Right.
Yeah, like the first teaser trailer was definitely not enough, right?
Right.
But then
the
like,
first teaser trailer was fantastic.
Yeah, it left you wanting like, oh my god, I can't wait for the full trailer.
Yeah.
Then the full trailer dropped, and you're just like, okay, Belle in her dress. Like, there's a little bit of music. We've seen the Beast now,
and I'm glad they kept up. Like, they didn't show too much in the music yet. You know, because that's the only reveal they have left.
Right.
So I'm glad they didn't like come out and be like, hey, here's all this stuff.
But yeah, like let's just media blackout now. Let's just get to the film. Let's just do it now. But it's marketing. It's Hollywood. What are you gonna do? What are you going to do? You know what movie I saw the other week? Surprising, super surprising. Sing.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good. Like it lived up to the hype. It was weird because I was like excited by it, but it seemed like one of those movies that the commercials might be really good, and then like the movie wasn't. You know,
mm-hmm.
And that's like a thing. But it was funny because so many people who aren't like the huge moviegoers, but like so many people are like, I just want to go see Sing, and I'm like, I don't know why you're all like on this, but like, who knows? But I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's made by Illumination, the same people that make like the Minion movies, which you know I could go without Minions. Like Despicable Me, I'll take that movie, but like let's not go all in on the Minions. But like I was expecting it to be, you know, I've seen Secret Life of Pets and Storks, and like the previews look like there's some, you know, funny moments in those movies, but like really they're just like pretty forgettable overall.
Sure.
And that's what I expected Sing to be, and I was blown away by like how invested I was in not only like the musical performances but the stories, like all the different stories that were going on with all the different characters and how they all kind of kept circling back around to like the main story thread, and just absolutely incredible. Like it blew me away how much I liked that movie at the end.
Sure.
So much so, I bought the soundtrack afterwards.
Nice.
I was like, you know, I want to listen to these songs again. Like, these renditions from these actors doing these famous songs are really good. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Yeah,
One of those sneaker hits, you know?
Sure. Yeah, we were gonna see La La Land this weekend. But then Amy's really wanted to see Jackie for a long time.
Okay.
And it's been Jackie's been a weird release where it came out in like December, but only like limited theaters in like New York and LA.
Right.
And then it's been like slowly rolling out, but not like consistently. Like my local theater, Independent, got it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and nobody else around had it. And then like State College just got like it's a. I don't understand how like they made money, because like I don't know how many people are just like always checking movie times to find it. You know what I mean?
Right.
The only reason I even knew it was there is because we were already planning on going to the movies that weekend, and we saw that Jackie was out.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's switch out La La Land and go see Jackie, which is super good. It was an interesting way, like to look at Jackie Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't say the weird thing, but it was just like, it was rated R, and so I'm like, okay, like I guess I could see why it's rated R.
Sure.
But I'm like, I'm watching it, and I was like, this is barely PG-13, you know? And I'm like, even that, because there was some language, but not like a lot. And because they didn't really show the assassination scene.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, maybe they're not really going to, like they talked about and they showed like before and after, but nothing major, you know? I was like, okay, maybe they're just trying to, you know, just more focus on Jackie and not everything else, you know, because it's more about her.
Sure.
And how she responded to it and everything like that. And then, like, at the end, they did like a re-showing of it per se, and it was like, again, obviously there's no like HD video of it or anything, but it was like what you would expect probably happened. And I'm like, whoa, geez. So it earned the rated R for like that 3 seconds.
Wow.
And I'm like, and it's like, and I'm kind of glad they put it in because it did like affect you kind of a thing. Like it made you, I don't say, lack of a better term, I don't say appreciate, but like, you know, again, make it feel real and not try to
there was a
candy
reason
coat it,
for
you
it.
know. Right. They didn't just throw it in. And I'm like, whoa, boy. So it's weird because the whole movie, I'm like, why is this R? And then like that, I'm like, whoa, okay. But it was super good, and she well deserving of her nomination for her leading actress. She had like 90% of the lines in the movie, but it was a really weird accent to nail down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say weird, but unique accent.
Yeah.
But she did super good. It's a super good movie if you want to watch a movie.
Is there more than one F-bomb dropped?
During that scene or just in the movie?
The rest of the movie.
There was a couple.
Okay,
well,
so that's why then.
Yeah, I looked up and it said rated R for brief, strong violence in some language. So like, it was like, yeah.
Brief, strong violence.
I know, that's what I'm like, okay. That's what, like, legitimately, I think even without the language, even that 2 seconds would have earned it. But I was just like, but it was super good. It was funny at times. Like, it was good. It was one of those movies, like, you know, unless it's your type of movie, or like Amy, who's really into Jackie Kennedy, you know, I don't know if it's a movie, but it's definitely worth a box rental. Like, it was interesting.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from it.
That's good. Education is key.
Indeed.
How about we do a show, huh?
I do want to say one last thing, though.
Oh, okay.
Before we go on.
Yeah. I mean, we have like 2 weeks worth of banter to get through, so.
Yeah. I need friends on a mobile game. I don't really need them, but if you want to, add me.
I mean, you need them. Just say it.
Yeah. Well, no, because I don't know if I actually need them or not.
Oh, okay.
I just want to add friends because it's fun.
Sure.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Link. I'm finally starting to, you know, get a little bit addicted to it.
Okay.
My Duelist ID. Get your pens and papers out.
Okay. If you're driving, pull over, please.
Right. Either Revolution J1 is like the username. Capital R, capital J. I don't think that really matters, but
and that's just the J, not the word like Jay.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So Revolution, the letter J, 1, all, and then the number 1 at the end. All thing. Or if you need the ID number, for some reason that's working, this is the stuff you have to write down. 478-715-697. That's my unique dueler ID.
All right.
So, anyways, if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, add me.
Or if you want to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Sorry.
There is a Pegasus event right now till the 8th, so if you want to get involved in that, be sure to jump in on that. But it's a pretty good. It's not really. I can't say a faithful Yu-Gi-Oh! Game because it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed round per se, where you only get like 3 slots versus like 5 character slots.
Okay.
And it's basically you only get one main phase of having a main phase 1 and a main phase 2. But it's all about speed. Like you can do it, and you have like half the life points, so you can do a duel in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
You know.
Sure.
So it's kind of nice for the mobile feel of it, like because you can pick it up, duel real quick, and put it back down. You know.
Right.
But they have like daily login bonuses, all that kind of stuff to keep you. I don't know what you get. Like, there's obviously pay to play kind of stuff with it because it's a free game. But like each day, I'm logging in and getting a bajillion different. There's like 400 different kinds of currency, so I don't really know what's going on yet. But anyways, if you want to play, add me.
The new Fire Emblem game came out today. I saw.
Yeah.
Is that just iOS or is that Android also?
No, it's both.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So I downloaded it illegally first, and then
Whoops.
Came out in North America, and then I got the legal copy.
Oh, with your Australian account?
No, because APK, Android APKs, you just go online, download, and hit install.
Mm,
You don't even have to root it. You just download the file like an exe, like on your Windows computer.
sure. Sounds like a. Uh, I'm not even
It's
gonna
not
say
really illegal. It's just, not
It's a-
available in the US yet.
it's a workaround for you crazy Android users. So
Yeah.
whatever. Big thank you to our executive producer this week and every week, as always, George Torres. Thank you, George Torres, for being an amazing human. Also, thank you to our show sponsor, Devin Lachinsky. You could find him on YouTube, youtube.com/user/DLASCH2. That's the number 2. Thank you, Devin, for being an amazing human as well. Jason.
Yes, sir.
Let's start off with just a little bit of Disney Infinity talk, shall we? This part of the podcast is sponsored by our good friend over in the UK, the man himself, James Holian. You can find him on Twitter at Infinity Museum. I know he's always happy to be sponsoring the Disney Infinity portion of the show, and hopefully he's going to take place in what you have to talk about here. So what's going on with Disney Infinity these days, Jason?
Yeah, so no news per se to talk about, but did want to talk about an event that we're going to be having coming up here this month. Partnership, obviously, with Toys for Games, Infinity Choir, and actually getting Dan over Disney Infinity Codes involved just to get as wide outreach as possible. But just basically, we're having a community event for people who want to just enjoy playing the game while it's still online. Again, before I preface all this, remember, Disney Infinity, 99.9% of the game is still going to be playable after the server shut down. So it's not really affecting much. The only thing it's affecting is like sharing of toy boxes, playing online, stuff like that. All the patches, so stuff like figure downloads, like so if you haven't bought the game yet or you haven't connected it or anything like that, that's all stored on the system manufacturer service, like on Xbox or PlayStation servers, just like the patches when you download other games. So don't worry about that. So each Thursday and Saturday night in February, minus today, February 2nd, just because stuff that happened in the last week didn't get around to get it out there. We're going to have Disney Infinity nights, play nights, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And that's Eastern time, so 5 p.m. through 8 p.m. Pacific time. Again, just pick the times we felt we could get the most number of people possible through there. Again, most of the stuff you really only need one other person, maybe a max of 4 total people. So if you're overseas or those times don't work for you, you can use the Facebook event and maybe see if you can find somebody else at that time slot. There's a chance, you'll find somebody. Sure. But we just kind of want to focus, just to have a focus, just sort of some kind of organization to it. But each hour we'll go through each of the games. So from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock will be Disney Infinity 1.0. 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock would be 2.0, and then 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time would be 3.0.
Cool. I didn't realize you were going all the way back to all the other games.
Yep. And so 1 hour for each, because that's, again, gives you time to get everything that you need checked off for that. And then obviously if you only need certain things, then you can just, like if you're just missing a couple of achievements from 2.0, allows you to get some in there. Because again, that's the main, I don't say the main reason, but one of the big reasons we want to do is because there are some achievements for each game that are locked to something you can only do online. So this would be your only last chance to get them. So I'll have the list on that on the website as well, either at infinityinquirer.com or at toysforgames.com. I think Dan's going to be co-hosting over at disneyinfinitycodes.com as well. So you can always go to those once you get all the details. Full details will be up this Saturday, February 4th. Again, that's the first night of it. That was for Xbox 360 will be the first weekend. Second weekend will be PlayStation 3, then Xbox One, then PlayStation 4. And then the last day, Thursday, March 2nd, that's technically the last day the servers are up. They go offline on March 3rd at who knows when. So March 2nd will be the last day. So plan just having some giant get-together, and that can be for any console. If you want to put Wii or Wii U in there to get like the feats that unlock, obviously that stuff's just tied to the game. The reason we focus on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 is because they show up online with your game card, and it's always going to be staring you in the face. So if you want to take a look at that, but everything's just going to be on March 2nd. There's no time slot besides just 8 to 11 primary focus, but again, there's no origin that night. It's just let's go have some fun. So more details of that again coming up. But hopefully you can tune in. As like I said, there will be a Facebook event for each weekend. So if you only want to attend the PlayStation 3 event, you can just choose that single Facebook event. And then if you're on Twitter, it's kind of hard to organize on there, but we are going to do a hashtag Play Disney Infinity if you want to look for some other people as well. Yeah. So the primary focus will be on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll do our very best to blast it out in every capacity we possibly can. We want this to kind of be one last hurrah for everybody to play Disney Infinity as a community, and kind of just self-heal together, I guess. So it should be fun. Of course, be on the lookout for information shortly on that with more specifics and everything, so on and so forth. And if you'd like to help in any way, like with organization or anything like that, like definitely let us know. So looks and sounds extremely fun, Jason. This is a good thing that you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of back and forth in the organization. It's more than you would think of, even if it's just like something simple like this. Is obviously want to make sure it's the best I can put on. So
yeah,
do what we can.
Yep. It will be worth it in the end for sure. Moving on, let's talk some Skylanders, shall we? Skylanders is sponsored by our dear friend, the birthday boy himself, Matt Sonnenberg. You can find him on Twitter at SCLMatt. Or you could head over to his website, his domain that he purchased himself with his hard-earned cash, sclmatt.com. From there, it has links to all of his various projects and such. Go over there, wish him happy birthday. He would appreciate it. Jason, what's going on with Skylanders these days?
So Skylanders kind of surprised everybody this morning and tweeted out that Season 3 has been picked up for Skylanders Academy, even before Season 2 has a chance to air, even before Season 2 has even started marketing, really. Season 2 is coming out on Netflix this fall. But
that was my hang-up, was like I had to stop and think, wait, did 2 already come out? Like, I don't remember 2 even being talked about.
Yeah, and they really worded this press release weird, and so it made it seem like Season 2 was coming out in February, but what they're trying to say is Season 3 production is going to start in February, and they could have worded it like much better, and because I even saw some major news outlets reporting like, hey, Season 2 is coming out in February. I'm like, no, that's not what they're saying. And some people are saying like, oh, it's coming out in February 2018. No, that's still not what they're saying. It was really stupidly worded.
You should see my shocked face right now, Jason.
Yeah. So, but yeah, super interesting. This is a day after Activision even came out and announced their new like head of their division. What was that thing called? Hold on, why is this not working? Activision. Consumer Products Division, headed up by a veteran Mattel and Disney executive, Tim Kilpin, as its CEO and president. So a new division there focusing on expanding their brands, various Activision Blizzard brands, through interactive content, television and film, competitive gaming, and mobile. So that's like stuff they've already been talking about, but I guess now they're made an official division for it and a new head, which is someone who seems pretty big in the industry.
Right.
So day after all that news. So seems to be good. People saying this is good news for the franchise itself. Yes and no. Like I could see them even continuing the TV show even if the game's dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
absolutely.
It's still a good, solid TV show for kids. It's still going to have connection to it.
Right.
You know, I mean, they make TV shows of stuff that they don't make games for, and you know, like yada yada yada. Sure. So they could easily continue it just being a TV show only thing, if it has the numbers for it. I mean, they're not going to say no to the numbers.
Right.
So
when
interesting
is
news
though. Meeting?
A week from today, so Thursday the 9th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
D-Day.
So as I told you before, the last 2 Februaries they teased. They like I said, a new game's coming out this fall, so they have to know all the news that's going on. The investors have to know, and again, speaking to the investors.
Yeah.
So I would be shocked well, let me say, if there is a game coming, I would be shocked if they didn't say, "Hey, and there's a new game coming."
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hurt anything,
No.
you know. But because some people said, "Oh, I don't see them doing anything." Well, like if they don't say anything, that's their statement. Like I don't see them because people are like, "Well, they're not going to say the game's been canceled and that." And while like I could see it either way, I mean, Disney Infinity did somewhat, but I could see them not doing it either, especially with the new starter pack launching, in March with the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they don't say anything, to my opinion, that's a statement in itself.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, they have to know the rumors are going around. Lee Robertson, the guy who been the main source behind it all, tweeted today saying it sounds like Toys for Bob's jobs actually might be safe now. I don't really know. So, I mean, either day, the series is still bleak. That's not an argument. That's not a source thing. That's just obvious numbers.
Sure.
But obviously, again, all of us who are fans of the industry, fans of the game, obviously hope the best and hope to continue if that's what they deem the best decision for them. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, we're getting the game on Switch, Yeah. They were talking about how there's going to be a Crash Bandicoot version and a Dark Edition for the Switch, right?
No. So the website lists the Crash Edition.
Okay.
But the Dark Edition, no. But it's 100,000,000% just a website error.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm like, oh, do they need that? Like, Crash is out and available.
Right.
Like,
No, it's just like I don't even remember what it was. One of the games had the same issue, or one of the systems had this issue. It's all it's based off is if you go to Skylanders.com and you choose System Select. If you choose Crash Edition, Switch shows up, but you click it shows like an error message like this isn't available in your area, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
And so it's just them enabling too many boxes.
Sure.
So 100% just a website error.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean we'll see.
Yeah, I mean regardless, they put the time into making a Switch version, so
yeah, and people say it all the time like that'd be crazy that they're releasing a game that's canceled. That's unfathomable. They're releasing launch games on Switch that's like 4 years old,
right?
Or ports of other games. Like it's no different.
Yeah,
Like if they can do an easy Switch, like who cares?
I kind of feel like Nintendo approached them about it, and they're just
sure.
Like, look. We don't have many games at launch. Is there any way you could get this ready for launch? And you will be like one of 5 games to launch. And they're like, yes, please. Because you know what? When people buy new consoles, they buy a lot of the launch titles because they just want to play everything they possibly can. Now, granted, It's going up against Zelda, and 100% of Switch owners are going to own Zelda. But, like, there's that temptation of, like, okay, I need an extra controller. I need a couple extra games. What's out? Oh, there's only these to choose from. Oh, I heard Skylanders is okay. Let's check that out.
Yeah.
If there was, like, 20 launch titles, I don't think you'd be seeing Imaginators on day one. Or, I don't think they would have, like, put that much effort into making it happen.
Sure. There's some kind of financial investment.
Yeah, like, they're seen as, like, okay, we're not competing with very much. People are going to be stoked for this new console. Let's push some copies out to the people that are just looking to buy launch titles.
Right. And remember, it has no Nintendo Switch exclusive features beyond the fact that you can like scan in your figures, which again, might have took 2 weeks of coding at max. Just I would think. So like, there's no they didn't have to redevelop it to use the Joy-Cons and do stuff like. Nope. It's just a simple port from the Wii U thing. So again, even if they were worth a bare bones development team, they could easily, and it's not like they're switching it to a harder, like a handheld where they had to try to like optimize it. They could have done an easy port on the better hardware. And again, knowing nothing about the Switch development, who knows how similar it is to Wii U development software and language and all that kind of stuff. How hard of a conversion it is. Can't be that hard again for some of the games that people are converting that have been sitting around. Like, aren't they converting like Rayman's Legends over? Like
rumored, yeah.
Yeah, so they're not spending a buttload of money to convert that. So
yeah. Yep.
But
one thing I thought about, or not, I didn't think about, it was presented to me, Charlie, the guy that makes all the pins that I send out to Patreon supporters, he sent me a DM the other day, and he was like, yeah, I don't collect Skylanders or anything like that, but he's like, I've been thinking about, like, this Skylanders on the Switch, and he's like, since you don't need a portal, and it keeps everything saved to the system. First, he asked if Skylanders had like that barrier to prevent scanning in when it's in the package. I was like, nope, Amiibo's the only one to do that. He's like, so what's stopping anybody from just like bringing their Switch into a store and just like scanning in figures? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah, somebody else did that, but again, like if more than 10 people did that across the country, I'd be shocked.
Sure,
you know
but it's still like funny to think about like
Yeah.
just like going in and scanning like figures. But it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like if you want to, go for it.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
It's,
Activision is just going to be happy you bought the game. So
right. But yeah, and there's still some confusion as far as like getting that save information back to the toy. There's been no like official confirmation that like you can resave that back. As far as I know, you would logically assume we just re-export it out, but they haven't really talked about it.
Right.
So we'll see. But all's not good news though in Skylands either.
Man, I was trying to avoid this.
Heartbreaker Buckshot has been canceled. Write your own headline. But so this has been a weird variant because like nobody seemed to really like it from the get go.
Well, it's scary.
Yeah, he's scary looking, and it's just like why? I mean, we made fun of it all the time when it first came out. But what's weird about this is that it was on Skylanders' website. This wasn't like we had leaked images and stuff like that. Like they fully had it on the website, saying it was coming soon, but just listed there. And logically, you would think it's coming out in Valentine's Day. I mean, what else would it come out for?
Right.
So we haven't heard anything. It hasn't shown up for pre-order anywhere across the globe. Hasn't shown up in South African pre-order systems. Hasn't shown up in GameStop systems towards the rest of the system. Like it would have showed up somewhere. And as we said before, like a lot of variants come out a while before, like a month at least before the holiday.
Right.
Just so it's there on shelves so you can pick it up, whenever you want to. And we've got nothing. We're 2 weeks out. So I'm like, something's going up. And then this past weekend, they just deleted it from their website. And so some people are like, okay, it must be a website glitch. But, like, this is on, like, all the territories.
Right.
And as we said before, like, this is different than, like, the I know we were just talking about the website glitch thing, but this is, in my opinion, different than the Switch edition thing. Because that's them just adding something in. Mm-hmm. Someone, like, went in and had to remove this from all the pages. Right, Right. And remember, like, if you remember back when the games were being updated, when they're adding characters in, like the U.S. edition would be 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, like 2 days later than their, like the Skylanders Spain site would add certain figures in. And then the U.S. would later, like it was some weird random thing. It's not like they click it once and it goes live across the board. So, like, in my opinion, and going off of that, somebody went in and removed each one from each individual at once. So it's not like they click one page and publish it across all. Right. They have to go in and publish it in always different times. So I think it's pretty much canceled. Whether that's because of the financial situation of the game or just because they're like, this isn't going to sell well. Who knows?
Look at these eyes.
They did focus group on toddlers and they didn't even touch it, even if they gave them a free ice cream cone. I don't know.
Yeah. Unfortunate. What are the odds that we see a tweet within the next month from Skylanders account saying Buckshot, right?
Buckshot.
Heartbreak Buckshot is available now.
Dude, I would love every second of that.
But they don't upload it back to their website or anything like that. Like, it's not out anywhere, but that tweet is like, was scheduled out like 6 months ago, and it still goes up. What are the odds that happens?
I would say above 80%.
On Valentine's Day, watch. It's just gonna pop up there.
Dude, it would be so... Like, they scheduled a tweet back in September.
Yeah.
And never deleted it.
Yeah. It would be so them.
I keep refreshing Best Buy every day, and I'm like, if I ever see that freaking Therapy switch from coming soon to in stock, legit, I'm just gonna like... I'll just leave work. Like, tell my cousin, gotta go, family emergency. Like,
man, every time, like I was in Toys R Us today, and the stupid Buzzwing got me again. I was like, oh, dang it.
I know, because I always forget which one. Like, do we not have the vehicle or the figure?
Yeah. But they restocked all the Easter Thrillipedes. Like, there was like 10 of them on the shelf. I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on, guys. Just totally up my emotions.
I saw Ken and a couple of people just randomly found, like... Or was that you or Ken who found the traps?
That was Ken, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And just, like, random traps. And again, same thing. I forgot which traps we didn't have. And so, like, I first thought the one was, like, the yawn trap.
That's what I thought, too.
And I was like, Ken, what was this?
Just all casually just posted it, like, oh, look what
I will drive to New Jersey so fast.
Oh my goodness gracious. Skylanders, he's so cray. That's it for Skylanders news, right?
Yep.
Alright. Let's swing over to Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions, part of the podcast, is sponsored by our good friend Christopher Long from Long's Toys. You can find him on Twitter at CLong83. Or check him out on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/longstoys. Jason, what is going on with Lego Dimensions?
So essentially next week, a week from today, probably from when you're listening to this, Lego Dimensions is releasing Wave 7.5. That is the waves that includes the Lego Batman Story Pack, the Excalibur Batman exclusively at Target, the Knight Rider Fun Pack, available exclusively at GameStop. And then if you don't have Marceline, the Vampire Queen yet, who has been a Toys R Us exclusive, will now be will now be out available everywhere. So pick those up. GameStop currently has a 40% off sale that they've been offering that ended, and then they restarted the next day. But those have been working for the Wave 7.5 pre-order, so you can get Marceline, their exclusive Knight Rider, and the Lego Batman Story Pack for 40% off. Heard you can even pre-order in store at that price, which is not something they typically do. Mm-hmm. So you can do that. But then Amazon also has been offering a 40% off on the Story Pack as well. So it's $29.99. They now lowered it to $28.99. Who knows why? So it's actually even a better deal. Best Buy also has it at $28.99, I believe. Let me double check. Click on there. But then the Best Buy, $28.99. But the Best Buy one, obviously your GCU discount stacks with that. So it's down to $23.19. Normally $50.
Not bad.
So not bad at all. Especially for one I would think would sell well. All things considered. So who knows? But yeah, good price for that. So lock that in if you haven't already, because who knows what the launch day sales are going to be like. But I would hate if you missed out on the early price sales.
Don't say we didn't tell you.
Losing money not pre-ordering.
Speaking of GameStop real quick, did you see that Kotaku article?
Yeah, so...
Ooh. That's interesting.
Did you see the update on it, though?
Ooh, I did not.
The GameStop person... the way I interpreted it, how I read on that, I think it's them releasing a policy which makes sense, in my opinion, what they are trying to achieve, but the employees themselves are doing it in a way not that they intended to. So in order to boost the things that they were GameStop's policy as a whole is not to say, tell a customer we don't have the new copy, we just have the used copies.
Right.
It was GameStop's employees were like, I want to make sure that this number is higher, so I'm going to tell the customer that we don't have it available.
Sure.
I don't think that's any top down. I think there's just them trying to change their own numbers. So I think it's a GameStop thing, which again is what it is. They're still always pushing used games and pushing pre-order, which they have to, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's a sucky business model, but unfortunately just what they have to. But I think I don't think it was. I think it was too much headline reading, and I don't think it's Jason's fault, Schreier's fault. Maybe a little bit, but it was kind of like when you first read it, it seemed like they were telling employees this is what you need to do, and that's how people were taking it. Right. And I think that was kind of unfair criticism. Again, not so. Anyways, he came out the memo sent to the store, and it also wasn't even like they didn't take much responsibility. Like, hey, sorry, we didn't properly vet this or clearly communicate what we want to achieve.
Sure.
There was no response on his end, but it's kind of like, this isn't what we're about, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Because if it was really that bad, I don't think it would have been a secret. Like, how many GameStop employees are there? And the fact that, like, Jason seemed like he was working on the story and, like, blah, 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 got the exclusive. If it was really that bad, please, anybody across the world would have been just tweeting about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it was an ugly thing, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be.
Right. And like, to play devil's advocate here, like, I agree with you that it probably wasn't like GameStop's like in writing policy.
Yeah, like, why would they turn down a customer? That makes no sense.
Well, I guess like what I'm going to counter that with is if employees who aren't making that much money as it is felt like their job is in jeopardy if they don't get the appropriate numbers, like, I could see how the threat of that would be enough to make decisions like that.
Right.
But like, right or wrong.
Yeah, and I was saying this is the one policy that makes no sense to me. I fully get them pushing the Power Up Rewards card membership signups and trying to have quotas on that. Like, I understand fully on that because again, they're trying to build stuff. The one that never makes sense to me is the canceling the pre-order affecting the cashier person. Like,
yes, that
like, that makes no sense to me because typically when someone goes in the cancel pre-order, it's never like you're going in there and then like, I had a bad experience, so I'm going to cancel my pre-order. It's like, oh shoot, I don't have the money to pick this up, or oh shoot, I'm getting somewhere else. Right. I'm going to cancel. The poor innocent GameStop employee had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Why hurt their random person that might be the only time he saw that? Because of that, there was different times when I knew I was going to cancel something that I would cancel it at another store.
Well, yeah, you didn't want to get GameStop girl in trouble.
Right. And I was like, I'm going to cancel at this other GameStop that I don't care about. Hurt their numbers. Because it was the same way at Lowe's.
Yeah.
The returns affect the store it gets returns to. So even if it wasn't sold at that store, which makes no sense.
Sure.
So either A, another Lowe's selling broken product, not the right product, or even product that customer just doesn't need, looks negative on us because we were convenient for them returning. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people all the time, like, if you need something from like our Lowe's and you need to return it, return to the other Lowe's across town because I don't want to affect our numbers. Especially like special order stuff that like nobody ever wants to buy because it's like fitted for your house. So we have to mark it down like 90%. Then we just get screwed over for whatever dumb reason. Like stuff like that's just bullcrap.
Yeah. Retail, man. I'm so glad I've never had to deal with that. What else is going on in LEGO Dimensions?
So, speaking of, we'll do since we're talking about retail, bring this up.
Yeah.
Reminder, 99-cent store, 99only.com. It's a Western 99-cent store chain, only over there. Are getting the California Gold Rush of LEGO Dimension packs themes recently.
Yeah.
Each picture, it seems to be getting like more ridiculous.
Yeah. More and more sets are showing up, and each one that's tweeted at me, I try to retweet to let people know that, like, hey, they're out there. Go get them.
Yeah. And, like, people are like, oh, man, the scalpers are getting them. And there's, like, pictures I found of people literally, like, loading up, like, 150 in there.
Sure.
And then, like, the same person will tweet the next day, and, like, at a different store, there's still, like, 3,000. I'm like, so apparently they keep coming in. But the odd thing that I noticed today in one of the Instagram photos, one of the boxes, now I won't read too much into this because it could have been, like, a box that was sitting in the back and it just happened to be the one that they took. But there was a box because a guy just bought the unopened cases that came off the truck to the 99-cent store versus, like, he's like, hey, I'll buy however many you have in there.
Sure.
And if he's like eBay, like, sure, whatever, fine. That's a great way to make your eBay store or your LEGO Dimensions thing. Power to you.
Yeah.
But the boxes say do not open before September 2015. So those were launch boxes.
Wow.
So like that, like, again, it theoretically could have been sitting somewhere, blah, 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 and just happened to always get lost and people were just not following proper retail procedure where you open the oldest box first when you unlock on the shelves. It's like that kind of thing, and it could be the only one there, but that's not a good sign. You know what I mean? If they're still pulling launch stock out of places.
Yeah, they made too much.
Yeah. And again, I put this out on Twitter, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but this time, like right now compared to last year, I don't see nearly the same amount of packs on the shelf.
Right.
And I think they're trying to pull the reverse Disney Infinity where it's like, hey, it's great to get this much product out there, but like we need to cut back and not do this as much. And somebody said today, like, it look bad if it's selling 99-cent store? I don't think so either, because again, if it is speaking negatively on LEGO Dimensions, there might be like, we need to make as much money back as we possibly can.
Sure.
Who knows what they're selling to 99-cent store to? Theoretically, 99-cent store could be actually losing money on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They could be selling it as a doorbuster thing to get people into the store.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't even know this thing was a store right. And are now going. You know.
Yeah.
You know, who knows if the 99 store is that smart? But they could be selling it at call. I mean, who knows? But yeah, go take advantage of it. We talked about in the limited edition. I said it's fun to have the rebuilds, the 3-in-1 rebuilds.
Sure.
$2, you can get the other ones. Save them there. You can have multiple of the same vehicles if you want to save one vehicle as just that single build.
Yeah.
And just have more. Obviously, shelf space has always been an issue. Now you're going to triple that.
Yeah, you'd be crazy for that, but you know.
Who cares?
Right. Go for it. Go all in. At that price. Woo.
Now I wonder, do any of those stores out west are any of the ones that don't have sales tax? That's the real question.
California definitely has sales tax. Oregon does not. So the moment they cross the border into Oregon, it's game on, my friend.
It's game on.
But also, like, sales taxes in California, I think is like 8% or something. So it's like $1.07 for each pack.
So here's your fun fact of the day.
Okay.
No sales tax, Alaska. Oregon, Montana, New Hampshire, and Delaware. So it doesn't really apply in this situation.
Sure, no. But, I mean, trivia question.
Now you know.
Yeah. You could be that guy at the party, be like, you know what? If I don't want to pay sales tax, you know where I'm moving? Just drop that line. Guaranteed to be a party pleaser.
Man, that reminds me. I had a really other good, completely random fact I learned the other day. It was super interesting, but I don't remember what it is anymore.
Didn't stick, so not that important.
But yeah, so some good and maybe some bad news for LEGO Dimensions.
Interesting.
Today, Wave 8 got announced that we knew was coming. The second half of Wave 8, essentially, because Wave 7.5 is technically the first half of Wave 8. That doesn't get confusing at all.
Or the second half of Wave 7.
But it's not, though.
But it might be.
But it's not, though.
Depends
that was
who
already confirmed. No, that's what LEGO said.
Well, so. I trust them as far as I can throw them. So
okay,
yeah.
Because what it was, they wanted to split it in two because they wanted to have some stuff out in February launch for LEGO Batman. So they didn't want everything there, so they split it up. But anyways, so Josh.
Yes.
So let me tell you something.
Okay. Walk me down this journey.
So we knew another wave was coming.
Uh-huh.
All right, we knew this couple waves were coming in, a half wave. So it seems like the second half couldn't be that far behind. You know, they want to move some stuff into a release in February. That's all fine and dandy.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So let's say Wave 7.5 has a Target exclusive Batman Fun Pack.
Okay.
And you go in and you look at the Target card, and up to this point, anytime there's been exclusives, it points a date that was exclusive to. So let's say Target's exclusives is through a day in March. I forget when it is, like March 21st.
Sure.
What would you logically think that means then?
Based on the trend, and that's like the best thing to rely on when trying to make predictions, I would say March.
Sure. Next wave, right?
Yeah.
You would think, you know, just like Marceline, that's when the next waves come in, the exclusivity ends.
Yep.
Get a little nice month bonus head start. Boom. Fine and dandy.
Yep. And
then also, let's say that there's a huge Harry Potter event that just happened to happen this weekend.
I've heard about that, yeah. There's this one podcast I listened to that was like talking all about it, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And let's say there was a LEGO Dimensions feature there. Okay. And not just LEGO Dimensions there, because they have Harry Potter, but it's going to be the first public appearance of the Hermione Fun Pack.
That's an important thing.
Important thing.
Yeah.
Now let's say you're standing there, and you look over and they have a poster showing off the area, and it says Hermione Fun Pack coming in March. What do you think that means?
Now, through the power of deduction,
Sure.
If I were to use Professor Trelawney's crystal ball here, I would definitely believe that all signs pointed to it being released in March.
Sure.
Per the trend and the printed information given to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even let's not forget, Supergirl exclusivity said it was going to be a Sony exclusive through March. So again, March seems like it's going to be a big month.
Whew. I'm excited for March. I can't wait.
Wave 8, yeah. So LEGO Dimensions announced today, Wave 8 is coming out the 9th of
March.
May.
March.
May.
I think you're saying March wrong. It might be your accent. Like I didn't realize like your Pennsylvania accent was so thick. Yeah, March.
Nope, May. So
that happened.
So, let me recap this.
Okay.
You had a big event.
Yeah.
Big outcoming of Hermione.
Big production.
Big deal. Big deal. Trying to push it out to the Harry Potter fans. Big market. Huge event.
Big market.
Put it right on the sign. Clear as day. Coming in March.
Yep.
4 days later. Coming in May. Changed our minds.
Do you think somebody made an innocent typo?
I did, and so I started thinking everything that we've known about March.
Yeah, that's a lot of things.
Now, here's my negative outlook on it.
Okay.
LEGO Dimensions, tying into the 99-cent thing, which some people look negative on, but is what it is. You can take your spin on it. They're pushing it to May, because, again, March makes sense.
Sure.
Because of Beauty and the Beast was coming out. You launched Emma Watson Fun Pack, the same that. Originally, the date that I said from the Target card was the Tuesday following Beauty and the Beast coming out.
Right.
I don't know how much crossover it really could have done with that, but it's something fun, something LEGO would do.
Yeah.
Could theoretically LEGO Dimensions not be in a good spot and are spreading things out to make it last longer? That's one way to look at it.
I don't like that way.
I don't like that way either.
Yeah.
I could see it being an argument. LEGO Dimensions, it's kind of been the hush-hush for a little bit. Who knows what financial state they've been in either. Right. Again, games. The 40% sale on GameStop is what it is. That's GameStop. My opinion, just them, just whatever. Just 40%, click all, done with it.
Sure.
Amazon price matching. The Best Buy one kind of shocked me, but I think they could have been the same thing. Like, yo, we're losing money out the wazoo because who's going to pay $20 more and get it from somebody else?
Sure.
So they could have changed it.
Okay.
But this we've always been on it's great to release content every other month, space it out a little bit, but to have a small, November to February, that's a long gap.
Yeah. Right.
And now we're doing November, December to January to February. So now we got February to March to April. So 3 months, but still a long stretch for just 3 packs.
Sure.
That's
a big thing. Like if it was a big
stretch.
wave, it would be like, okay, I can see that.
Sure. So doesn't scream confidence, in my opinion. Now, on the flip side of that, positive side of it, we don't know the date yet. Everybody has placeholders April 30th. Lego City Undercover is coming in that spring time frame. They could release City Fun Pack near that. That makes sense.
Sure.
Again, Lego. Would they really want to delay that much to that point? I don't know. But something seems weird. Again, inside information on it for you. The images that I got today of the screenshots for the Goonies were taken in November. I was able to tell by the file information.
Okay.
So they've had it on hand since November. Again, obviously we've seen some Disney Infinity stuff that's been that far out. Sure. But still, that screams like that was final pictures, getting ready to announce we're going to have a March time frame, and they're pushing it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm typically a skeptic about everything, but there's a reason for them pushing it to May. This was not the plan.
Riddle me this.
Sure.
Do you think it was moved out of March to avoid any possible confusion with Lego Worlds being released?
When's that coming out now?
March 7th.
Yeah, and so
I mean, that doesn't explain skipping April completely, but it might explain moving it out of March.
Yeah, I don't think so though. I don't think it's that huge of a competitor.
Not competition-wise, but confusion, brand confusion.
Yeah, but still, I don't like. Again, Lego Dimensions, as far as I can tell from an outsider's perspective, they're not doing great either.
Yeah.
I don't say they're in chew to spare yet, but it's not like I would move them with confidence. Be like, let's move this because they're not. It's not like something I'd want to move. Play around with that you can be okay with.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is just social team, and how much they know, we don't know about them. Disney Infinity social team was hit or miss with stuff all the time, like we know.
Right.
Someone tweeted today. Again, some kid probably has his name is something 2002.
Okay.
So he's probably 14 years old.
Well, maybe 2002 was a good year for him.
Maybe. Said about, I thought it was coming out in March, and they said, "Hi Silas, Wave 8 will now be released in May. Hope this helps." Now, that could just be weird wording on their part, how much they know. And again, to be fair, all the official stuff from Hermione, like the video, stuff like that, said it was coming in spring. The only time it said March was on that poster in the thing. So something could have changed from time of printing. Like I said, someone could have just been overjealous to jump the date. But something seems odd with all of this. So the only problem I'm going to have with this, though, is it's Wave 8 launching on May 9th. That's confused me 15 times already. Because I keep wanting to say Wave 9.
Right.
But,
Okay. Second question.
Yeah.
Do we have a Wave 9 confirmed? Oh, that's the Powerpuff Girls, right?
Essentially.
Should be.
Should be. I mean, Wave
10 was the rumor wave.
10
right?
is the rumor.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, it looked like I don't even remember when that interview was.
Well, how about this theory?
Hit me.
We have Wave 8 in May.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they go back to form and they decide to push out Wave 9 2 months later, we're thinking July.
Sure.
Right? And then 2 months from that would be September, which theoretically would be the release of LEGO Dimensions 2?
No, just year 3. Season 3.
You don't think they're doing a year 2?
They said they had a 3-year plan, so that was all attacked into this. So we're getting just more level packs and stuff.
You think so?
100%. That's what they said from get-go.
I thought it was a 2-year plan.
That's 3-year. I bet my life on it.
I believe you. Okay, well, interesting. Okay. I'm just thinking if, they were going to have a Wave 10 and it was going to be something big and epic like we thought it might be, like maybe that deal got pushed for whatever legality reasons or something, and they had to push that back even farther. So then, where that one would have been like the big July release, like they reveal it like at E3, then all of a sudden it's released in July. Now instead, that's not happening in July, so they had to bump everything back a little bit to fill in the holes.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't know if I would say I agree with this. Something seems up.
Yeah.
With it. But, who knows?
Who knows? Maybe Maybe we should get somebody on that knows something about Lego Dimensions to see if we could get him to crack.
Yeah.
Or just have him read the dictionary to us.
And again, this is obviously just reading into things. Arthur's been very excited about Goonies. That's been his thing from the beginning. And all he did today was retweet the official tweet. Nothing else. I would have expected more hype out of him, you know.
Sure.
But who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. Switching over, if you will, over to Nintendo Amiibo. This part of the podcast is sponsored by our good friend and soon to be married, no longer bachelor, Michael O'Driscoll, who you can find on Twitter at Amiibo_museum. He, of course, is getting married on a Thursday in May to a wonderful lady named Anya, Ania. She's a singer. She has an album out. It's called And the Light Comes In. You can go download that album right now. It's on iTunes. It's also on Spotify if you want to check it out first, see if you like it. I'm sure the soon-to-be married couple would greatly appreciate it. But Michael did tweet at us, and he's like, hey, there's a reason why we're getting married on a Thursday. Stop ragging on me about getting married on a Thursday, because let's be real. Who gets married on a Thursday, right?
But it was May the 4th, so that was my reasoning.
Sure. And last week I didn't want to actually reveal the date, in case anybody was going to.
I just did. So.
Yeah, that's on you. But like, still it was a Thursday, right?
Sure.
You were even perplexed by it when we first found out it was a Thursday. And turns out it's also the day that they started dating. The date, actually, the anniversary of the date they started dating, and the anniversary of the date that they became engaged. So they're kind of just following suit and going along with that as like that is their day that they will always have together as a couple. So unfortunately for him, it landed on Thursday. Like if it landed on Tuesday, I feel like he'd be getting married on a Tuesday, which is even more strange. But hey, at least there's a reason, and it's not just like, let's just pick a Thursday and go with it,
See, I would choose a day like that if I wanted to like lessen the number of people come into it, but make it as unlikely for people to come as possible.
Right. At like 1:00 in the afternoon on like a Wednesday, everybody's working. Nobody's taking time out of the day on a Wednesday, because that's too many days to take vacation time.
Right,
because you're not going back to work after a wedding, so
right.
Yeah, I like the way you think, man.
Really good.
What's going on with Amiibo?
Just a reminder that 2 Amiibo are coming out this week. We got Wolf Link Amiibo and the Poochie Amiibo.
Yeah.
So if you need more yarn Amiibo in your life, which who doesn't? You can pick that up February 3rd. So the Wolf Link Amiibo obviously being quote unquote re-released outside the bundle of the game, and then Poochie Amiibo coming out with the
that's
game.
Happening, to be honest.
Yeah, Poochie Amiibo being released outside as well of either the game bundle for 3DS, or you can just pick up the Amiibo itself.
Yeah.
But either way, good time for Amiibo fans.
I applaud Nintendo for releasing it separately, but at the same time, like from a business perspective, like they should have just kept it bundled.
Yeah.
Or
just like a month.
Yeah, pull a cheapy robo. Make everybody buy the game. Even if they don't want to play it. People will buy it for the Amiibo.
Sure.
But whatever. This is a new Nintendo, my friend.
This is a new Nintendo.
This is the dawn of a new Nintendo. What else is going on with Amiibo?
So we did get 2 teases this week as well for some stuff that maybe potentially might turn into new Amiibo. Ukulele. Game that I haven't really read much on. Like, I know about it, I know everything on it, but I'm trying to stay out of it.
Yep.
Because it seems like a game that's not going to be like game of the year and blah, 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 blah. I think it's going to be a great game, so I don't really want to know a lot about it. I just want to enjoy it,
Sure.
So, stay away from it. But anyways, the main characters in that, there was a picture tweeted out by the team Said about the one guy's good at making models, and it was just a picture of this figurine on it that happened to have a circle base that people thought it was Amiibo. Doesn't really look like an Amiibo to me. I don't think it's necessarily Amiibo design. Does that mean it's coming? It's not coming as Amiibo? No, definitely could still come out. You could see it obviously coming out as Amiibo.
Right.
But I think they're just doing model designs or getting stuff ready for events and figurines and different things like that. But
well, the interesting thing with that though is, it was a Kickstarter game. It's a spiritual successor to Banjo and Kazooie. It's made by a lot of the same people that made the Banjo and Kazooie games. One of the Kickstarter pledges was to get it to work and be playable on the Nintendo Wii U. Okay.
Yep.
A lot of people ordered it through that because they wanted to play it on the Wii U. But recently they announced that they are not going to be releasing it on the Wii U because, I mean, who's playing on the Wii U? But they did say that they are working with Nintendo to get it on the Switch. Now, it didn't say they were definitely going to get it on the Switch, but they said like they were in talks to make it happen with the Nintendo Switch. Now, I wonder if those quote-unquote talks that they're having has something to do with possibly pushing out an Amiibo along with it.
Sure.
Like that could be what's holding up like the official announcement. So it's possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they had that chart came out this week talking about Amiibo sales. Woof.
Look, when we say stuff about nobody cares about Amiibo anymore, like all we sometimes it just sounds like we're just talking about things and we're putting it down, but then numbers come out and it's like, well, okay, people still care about Amiibo, but not to the extent that they did in 2015.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we said 2016, so this is Q1 through Q3 of the fiscal year. I don't even know what they classify, but let's go off calendar year for sake of
Their fiscal year ends March 31st.
Okay. Yep. So then it was, let's see, Q1 to Q3.
So Q1 would have been April, May, June of 2016.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, so April through December, essentially.
Yeah. So it was, again, the Animal Crossing big wave was in March and earlier. So, so you got the Kirby series, so the Splatoon series, Super Mario Brothers series,
Zelda.
So they're a pretty heavy hit of those going in this. But then, yeah, back in the airtime, you had your Smash and stuff like that. But anyways, you were 20.5 million units sold Q1, Q3 for 2016. 2017, they sold 6.5.
Yeah.
So down it goes.
Numbers don't lie, folks.
Nope.
Anyway. SteamWorld.
Yep. So SteamWorld also tweet out, so I guess they're getting ready to do some announcements for some different things, and they're teasing a bookshelf so see if you can find all different stuff, and there was like a cardboard box and some other different things on there. But on there also was Rusty, the character from SteamWorld, figurine there on a red circular base.
Yeah.
Which did look like an Amiibo.
Definitely.
I don't think there's any doubt on that.
Yeah.
So
and the fact that they were like encouraging people to look at the photo and try to find the hints at things to come, like,
right.
Yeah, this is happening.
So, yeah, so that definitely looks like it's going to be an Amiibo. Hopefully, get more details on that.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that's been long rumored and speculated about, for a while now. I think pretty much since like Shovel Knight was announced, they're like, okay, well, SteamWorld definitely needs to do one too. So, totally makes sense. If they don't, it would be so weird to have that figurine on the bookshelf when you're encouraging people to try to figure out hints of what's to come. Right. Maybe you shouldn't do that because obviously that looks like exactly what you're trying to make it look like. So, yeah, that's exciting. New, fun, quirky little Amiibo. I could definitely be happy
behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Real quick, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Light Seekers.
Yes.
There's a beta going on.
There is.
You received 2 figures.
I did.
Both figures.
Yes.
Are you allowed to talk about anything?
I'm allowed to talk about the figures themselves
Okay.
being turned off, and that's it. So I can't talk about what the gameplay is like, which they haven't released the game yet
Sure.
on beta, and I can't talk about the figures being turned on.
Okay. But how do they look turned off?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
They feel great.
How heavy are they?
Pretty heavy.
Yeah, like they have the weight that they look like they should.
Yes.
Okay.
At this point, like, I haven't played with them much. I'll play with them more. Feel a little either top heavy or back heavy.
Okay.
Like, I wish the feet were heavier to support things. But again, if you have it set in the same place, but this is where it's different than, like, obviously Disney facility that has a base. Like, when you want to set it up, you kind of have to make sure you get it at the right spot to put it in. But that's kind of like an action figure thing in general.
Yeah.
Like the Disney Store Metal Elite figures exclusives that they've had.
Mm-hmm.
Things are atrocious to try to get stand up straight, man. Atrocious. And they give you like a 2 millimeter stand for it. Like, oh, just put this on the foot. Oh, okay. This comes right out. But yeah, and again, this isn't final packaging by any means, but super impressed with the way it came. Things snapped in there perfectly. They came out. They feel high quality. Like, I didn't drop them, but like I shook them back and forth, and nothing was moving on it. They have points of articulation, so you hear click, 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 like when you move
I love that.
the pieces around. Feel super high quality. Super high quality. So
Cool.
I was actually, again, I have high expectations, but keeping expectations in check.
Sure.
But still, pretty impressed. It actually blew my expectations with it.
Are you glad that you don't have to burn them in
Oh, absolutely.
a fiery pit of rage?
There was still something, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything or not, but there's something at the end. Still said, like, we'll contact you what to do with your figures at the end.
Oh,
And I'm like, come prime from my dead hands.
they're coming for you. They're just going to drive around in the tank collecting all the figures.
Yeah.
Like, would
But
you
it's
say
like
no to a
interesting,
tank? No.
Yeah. But it's interesting, like, the instruction manual came with it. Looks exactly like a high quality. Like, it still, this doesn't seem like a Kickstarter,
Sure.
you know? So,
Well, I mean, that's what Beast of Balance felt like too. You know, like
right.
this is a real thing. So awesome! I can't wait for more information if you're ever allowed to talk about it, and definitely anxious to get my hands on them myself. So
Yeah. So going forward, I can't talk specifically says it can't talk about how it's interacting with the game.
Yeah.
Which I presume the same thing is just even turning them on, even if the game's not there. I don't really want to talk about that.
right.
And then obviously can't talk about the game itself. But as soon as I get go ahead for different things,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be talking about it.
Yep. And Lightseekers team, we know you're listening. If we're allowed to talk about it, like just let us know, like what Jason can and can't say, because the audience wants to know here. We're talking to people that want your product.
Yeah.
So.
Now I am curious.
Mm-hmm.
Because on Android and iOS has the screen share, the screenplay up to like your Apple TV,
Yeah.
and Android you can Chromecast your whole entire screen to the Chromecast.
Sure.
If it has, because they said before, like there's not much. There is some touch control to it, but I'm curious like how much you can do on controller wise with it.
Right.
If I can fake it on it, like if I wonder if I can screen share it onto that, how enjoyable the experience would be.
I mean,
whether I could turn it into somewhat of a console game.
Yeah. Only one way to find out.
Got that right.
Test it. Cool. Thank you for those updates, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We have a community question to go over. This week, the response of the week for the community question. We are going to give away a mystery box filled with awesome stuff. I like picking out things, throwing them in a box, sending them to you, getting your reaction as to what you think of the contents of the box. Super fun. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you guys enjoy it also. So the community question this week I posed on Twitter this morning. I had a lot of great responses to. I said, we've seen an Amiibo made of yarn. What other Toys to Life figure would you want made of something other than plastic? And what? Did we get some responses, Jason?
We did.
Let's run through them here.
Yes, we got Dark TJ. Says, I want a Skylanders splat made out of chewed bubblegum and a special Amiibo Mario variant made out of Pastrami. Oh, Dark DJ.
Would the splat, even if it was still made out of chewed bubblegum, would it still smell like bubblegum? Because, like, once you chew gum, it loses the flavor and it doesn't really, like, smell like it should.
Weird taste.
Yeah. So as long as it still had the smell, that'd be fine.
Sure. Matt Sonnenberg says, first thought was to stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but no, I want a full line of Precious Gem, Knack figures, Emerald, Diamond, etc. Now, I need to put a pause here real quick.
Yeah.
Are you a Knack hater or lover?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
Knack, as in, like, the PS4 game, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that game.
I did too.
I had a lot of fun playing it.
I absolutely did.
I don't understand the hate.
I don't either.
Like, it wasn't the deepest game. It definitely probably could have used a little bit more work as far as, like, filling out the environment a little bit more.
Sure.
But it wasn't broken. I never came to a point where, like, it was broken and unplayable. I never found myself not having fun playing it. It was fun, and I thought it took advantage of, like, the PS4 technology with, like, the individual little particles and everything like that. Like, the best part was, like, hearing the particles move around inside the controller of the PS4. Like, that blew me away. I'm like, oh my god, I'm done. Like, this is the next, iteration of gaming, and I'm sold. Yeah. I enjoy Knack, and I think people that hate on Knack so hard either went in with way too high of expectations, or it's just become so easy to make jokes about it, regardless of how you really feel, that people just roll with it like that.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, launch title, you had Angry Birds, Star Wars, pass.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, my favorite personal Assassin's Creed, so that was it. Battlefield 4, which I think came out late. I think then it came out Battlefield, and then it came out on the PS4 because PS4 launch was later.
Yep.
Blacklight Retribution beta, whatever that was. Call of Duty Ghost, Contrast, DC Universal Online, Dive Kick, FIFA 14, Flower, good game. Justice God Among Us Ultimate Edition, so that's a re-release. Just Dance 2014, Killzone Shadowfall, terrible. Knack, Lego, Marvel Superheroes, Madden, NBA, Need for Speed Rivals, okay. Playroom, Resogun, Skylanders SWAT Force, Sound Shapes, Super Motherload, Trine 2, and Warframe.
Right.
Knack,
and half of those were just downloadable titles that were already available on the PS3.
Right. Knack, I literally finished, and I don't finish too many games anymore.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all I was gonna say. I enjoy Knack, so I'm excited for Knack too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think it's just hip and fun to make fun of it for no real reason. Like,
and I think it's not a hardcore gamer game.
No, it's just fun platformer. But like,
Yeah,
I've yet to hear a valid discussion or explanation why somebody would think it's a bad game. I've played a lot of bad games in my life, and there is nothing about Knack that makes it a bad game. Like, if you don't enjoy platformers, it's probably not going to be for you. If you're looking for like deep stories in games, it's not going to be for you. But that doesn't make it a bad game. That just means you didn't enjoy it. So I'm still waiting to hear the explanation as to why Knack was a bad game.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it because I really enjoyed it because it reminded me more of the video games I used to play.
Yeah.
It was just like you came home and just enjoyed playing, like, because there was an article, I didn't get to read it, but it said something like, why aren't we having fun playing video games anymore? Something like that. Because again, like, it's like Uncharted 4 is fun to play, but it's not the same, like you kind of think. But like, there hasn't been too many games where I play and I'm like, I'm just having a good time. Like, oh, this is a good game,
right?
But like,
Knack getting all big and like just smashing everything, like that was fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, Infinity Museum said Skylanders is made of something related to their element, like Hex, made from bone, or Spiral, made from Pengellet's fingernails. Green Armadillo says Pinata made of actual candy, UK exclusive. So Josh will move here. Alan Wilson said Skylanders is made from air. Uriel says gold, Mario made of gold, but it would probably end up being a Walmart exclusive.
Definitely.
Starminator said a dream of a premium Disney Infinity Groot made out of actual wood, or a Thrillpede made out of our tears. Eric Trejo says a Curry Amiibo made out of rubber. Joe Euler, Snowguard77 says KK Slayer is a mini MP3 player with all of his songs.
That's a cool idea.
furried Rocket Raccoon and Wooden Groot. 24 karat gold, 24 karat gold Golden Queen. Translate from Dutch. Could not translate tweet. Okay, thank you, Bing, for your insightful
Joe
commentary.
Euler, are you from Deutschland? Let us know.
Yeah. I don't know what letter in there Bing thought was
Maybe
Dutch.
it's the KT.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Alan Wilson says this video character is made from Possibility, robot characters, 8-bit Link Mario made from wood. Sky Amiibo Fan 26 says customizable paper snipper clips Amiibo. That'd be fun. Would be money down the drain if you ripped it real quick.
You make one wrong cut, you're like, oh.
Papercraft. Crap. M. Smith says a Yoshi made out of squishable rubber so you can squeeze him and his tongue comes flying out, which should then be sticky. That's actually a fun idea.
Oh, man. You remember those sticky hands?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Flying those things everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They get nastied in like 5 seconds.
The moment it touches a speck of dirt, it's just like, nope, we're done. This is gross. But then you go and get another one from the little 25-cent machine and do it all over again.
Tari Alex, the Super Meat Boy meal made out of actual meat. That's disgusting, Alex.
What's this bacon?
Yeah, what's this bacon? Sean Dully says an Elsa figure made out of ice or a Batman figure made out of Lego bats. Duels and Twists easily Jack's a Tyrex from Lightseekers, but with actual metal bits. Ben Harrison said Smaller Dash made from lava. It would be a hot item, pun intended. Billy DJ Dog says steel plated smash hit from thermal distress steel. Jeff Grimes says Kirby made of Play-Doh. After all, these are preschool toys. Man, still bringing that.
Wow, shots fired. You could take that, Amiibo community? You could take that from Jeff Grimes? Come on.
Brady James says, I would like to see a TARDIS made out of wood or Unikitty made out of cotton candy. William Thorndyke says Flashwing made out of quartz. And finally, Adam Tuttle says Metal Mario. There's something about having a figure that's weighty that makes you feel like you're getting a great value for your money. And then actually, finally, Shopkins Inc. says a golden strawberry, but I know I'll never know what that's like.
Correct. You won't.
Loser.
Yeah. Maybe next year, Shopkins Inc. Maybe next year. So what do you think, Jason? A lot of good responses.
There was a lot of good responses. Like I could see the goal thing. The one I think I could see them doing, and actually like be enjoyable, and another thing that would make me better is M. Smith's Yoshi with the squeezable tongue coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's another, and that's what made the Yoshi like Yarn Yoshi. It's another thing to get people invested in Amiibo.
Yeah.
Could open a whole another branch of it. Interactive McDonald's toys essentially.
Right.
But that would be honestly a super interesting idea.
Yeah.
We can get away from just the plastic figurine things. Allow kids like, hey, here's a legitimate play toy. They can also tap on the thing. My Google Home might go off.
Uh-oh.
Nope, clear. I don't know what I said that made it think I was talking to it, but
Yoshi. Is Yoshi your safe word?
No, I'm trying to think. An actual, maybe? No? I don't know.
All right. M. Smith, huh?
Yes.
Congratulations, M. Smith. Get a hold of us. Get a hold of me. Twitter, email, whatever. And I'll get a mystery box sent out your way. Thank you to everybody who responded. Had fun with that. Hope everybody goes and picks up Yarn Yoshi. Not Yarn Yoshi. Yarn Poochie.
Yarn Poochie.
Yarn Poochie. Tomorrow. That leads us right to the email segment of this podcast, Jason. We have 2 emails, one of which just came in.
Oh, jeez.
And no, it is not from Atari Alex.
Oh, man. Somebody else made it in.
Yeah. Whew. I tell you, man, these people are living dangerously tonight. The email part of the podcast is sponsored by our traveling friend Evan Parker. You know him as the Lone Goldfish. You can catch him on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Lone Goldfish. He's down at Disney World.
What?
Yeah, he's having fun down there, man. He's rolling around doing all kinds of things. Him and Brett are chatting it up in our Slack chat, talking about all kinds. Like, they were having like this in-depth conversation about like all these different things going on at Walt Disney World, and I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Like, you are saying words and talking about things that do not ring a bell to me at all. So it just makes me want to get to Walt Disney World even more so now. But I hope Evan is having a fun time down there. He's already gave us plenty of good stories, and hope he makes it back safe, of course. So with that being said, let's do some emails, shall we?
Do it.
The one that just got sent in, we'll do this first. This was sent in from Guadalupe. It says, I hope I sent this email in time, but I've been super busy with my final semester at school that I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not dead. I have many things to say about what has happened in the new year, but I at least wanted to ask a question. Do you think Skylanders will become a biannual franchise, or will Toys for Bob move to work on another franchise? I ask because the rumors say that the next Skylanders is canceled, but signs point to the franchise not being dead quite yet. Also, I'm getting a Switch day one because Nintendo consoles always get the most Sonic games. Man, Guadalupe and Sonic, I don't understand. Guadalupe. There are better franchises to love. Look. Sonic is okay, right? It's time to move on from Sonic.
I was listening to Giant Bomb's podcast last week.
Oh yeah,
Because 2 weeks ago when Jeff Gerstmann was talking about the Sonic event.
Oh yeah,
And he said he actually like thought it was a dream, and like 2 days later realized it was actually a real thing.
I don't understand the love for that character. Like, I don't think like Sega is still comfortable like letting go of the fact that Sonic isn't what they ever dreamed it was supposed to be in the first place.
And it's funny because they were talking about Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting that's a brand new game.
Well, they're coming out with 2 this year. 1 they haven't even talked about.
Right. And I'm just like, I'm like, man, but I don't know how you like can market it, but
here's how I play Sonic games. I play the first 2 levels because they're always like fun, and then I'm just like,
right,
that's enough. Time to go on to something else.
That's enough.
That's enough ring collecting for me.
But yeah, so I'm curious to check it out, but
yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, so
You're a betting man, Jason.
Yeah,
on this.
I would say I can't see them going biannual. If they released it and then like 2 years later, like people are just going to forget and move on. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think it could keep up the momentum. And it's different than LEGO Dimensions, which is releasing like level packs and fun packs. And that's a little bit different because I think when you have IPs like LEGO does, I think it's easier to do stuff like that because people are like, oh, frick. You know, I would love to play this again as Sloth, or I would love to play this now as Hermione, or the Powerpuff Girls. You know what I mean? Could add a bunch of different playstyle. Like, oh, cool, it's another made-up weird animal thing. You know? Like, it's not, you're just not going to like, oh, good, this thing's finally here. And then obviously they don't have like the content continuing like they can. Because people are like, oh, they could keep releasing like Imaginator parts. Who cares? You know? Like, I don't think that's enough to keep it up. The TV show, and like maybe they're pushing more, like maybe they could then, you know, if they keep that up, you know, keep interest in and then do it something, or maybe do it like what Pokemon does, where they have like the actual Pokemon games, and then like the next year they just chuck in random Skylanders, random whatever game, you know what I mean?
Like a Skylanders battle,
right?
You know, and like a fighting a Smash Brothers clone. Now, here's something I hadn't thought about until just now. We're getting the Switch version of Skylanders Imaginators in March, right? March 3rd.
Yes.
Do you think, theoretically, if Skylanders isn't done, they're going to continue pushing out games, do you think they would turn around and put out a new game on the Switch in September, early October, when the game comes out on all the other consoles? Like, do you think they would be asking too much of Switch owners, or do you think it's more of like acceptance that this console came out in the middle of our release cycle and that's just the way it is?
I think it's makes acceptance.
Okay.
I mean, it failed, but Disney Infinity released a 2.0 Vita version like a month and a half after they announced 3.0.
Sure, but 16 people own Vitas, so
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, I don't see any issue with it. I mean, it's just
I'm just wondering if like maybe that would like be signs of pointing at like maybe they take this year off, then the following year everybody's on the same page again.
No, I think it's just Activision likes money, and I think they got thrown money, and it was like, yeah, we could port this easily, because again, they're not doing anything different, and since they're moving to improved hardware, I mean, if they just used the Wii U's version, like, this is running better anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who knows?
So canceled, staying, or biannual? What's your prediction? By next week, we should have hopefully an answer.
Not direct answer, but hopefully a more sign.
Yes.
I'm slowly moving back into they might have something.
Okay.
But it's on its last leg. So I will say 60% it's staying, but then like 10% is coming after that.
Okay.
Like this is it.
Sure. We'll see. Final email. This is from the Amiibo hater himself, Jeff Grimes. Everybody can tweet your angry I love Amiibo tweets to Jeff Grimes at Jeff Grimes 23. He says, "Hey guys, it's already February, so it only seems right that we start speculating about the possibility of LEGO Dimensions 2 in the fall." See, I'm not the only one, Jason. Other than new franchises, what changes or additions would you like to see in either the game or packs? Personally, I think I have enough vehicles and gadgets. I would be totally fine with team packs that come with 2 minifigures and only 1 vehicle. Of course, they would probably cost the same as current team packs, but I think I would still be fine with that. Maybe level packs could have 2 figures and only 1 vehicle. As far as the actual game, I would love for them to create something like the Disney Infinity Hall of Heroes, where I could go see statues of all my figures and vehicles. What do you think?
Yeah, I just want some kind of reason to, because I love the LEGO Dimensions gameplay and everything. I wish there was a incentive for me to play as all the characters.
Yeah.
There's some that I just don't feel like playing with just because I don't really enjoy playing with them. But if there was like a way to level it up, or even if it was just something as simple as just an experience bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't even really get anything besides the fact that you're just maxing the level out.
Right.
I would do that more often with it.
Yeah. I agree with him though. Like there are enough vehicles and gadgets like that all do the same thing to where I don't use hardly any of the cars.
Sure.
Or gadgets unless like for very specific reasons,
Yeah, but like
TARDIS, Batmobile, like not many others.
But on the devil's advocate side of that, I like the builds of it. Like,
oh, me too.
So like I don't like A-Team. Like I want them to include the A-Team van.
Sure.
Harry Potter, I wanted the train and the thing.
Maybe I just want more functionality out of them.
Sure, and like, cause that seemed like okay, Chase McCain. Like I don't think we really need any of those things.
Right?
The vehicles in there, so like that one I could see. But that's like if it could be something that's like not a like what came with Cyborg?
A giant cyborg.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like I hard pass on that.
But like
so it's like
Fantastic Beasts. Like give me that Niffler all day long.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if it's iconic, go ahead and keep it. But like Ninjago, we got like the Zane, I think we got with that boat thing, like, or Nintendo Copter, whatever it was.
The White Dragon is pretty legit, though.
Yeah, that was legit.
Fun build, though, but I never use it in the game.
Now it's officially out, still saying, best builds, bar none, Goonies level pack.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Definitely. Gameplay-wise, like, is it just more use of the figures?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, there's not much. I mean, it's a Lego game. The Lego formula has been the same for however long.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's. I don't know if I even want to say that far. I mean, the story packs were definitely better than the level packs. Again, price wise, you could argue that. And again, you're asking unrealistic expectations to have that deep for all the different franchises.
Right.
I know
something.
What's that?
A little bit more variety in the interactions between the characters. Like, I love the funny jokes, but when you hear the same one 10 times in one level, it's just like, okay, we've heard that enough now.
Yeah.
Like, come up with some new material.
Yeah. A Whole Heroes idea would be fun. Yeah, no, I see it's gonna make people mad, but I personally would be okay if they added more. Like, each character had legitimately like a unique thing that only that character could do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
that's the sole reason why I use more characters than I do.
Right. But even like if it's something like that wasn't even 100%, like you got something, I don't know what they could do, but something that didn't affect 100% completion rate or something, I don't know, but
just more incentive.
Yeah.
Like you said, more incentive to play the figures, to play all of them. Like, I could name several minifigs that I've never even put on the portal because I've never had to.
Yeah.
Especially ones that come in like team packs or, ones that already are associated with another franchise. Like, I don't need those to open up an adventure world. So, like, I think I've used Scooby-Doo for the digging, but I've never put Shaggy on my portal.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Like, why? Why would I? Like, he doesn't add anything for me gameplay-wise. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But then again, I mean, we're the, extreme end of the spectrum where we have everything. So, if you are being selective and picking only the ones that you want, then you're not going to have that problem because you're going to be playing with whatever ones you have because those are the ones you want. So, who knows, man? It's a tough question to answer, but that's why there's smarter people working on these games than us. Jason, that's it, man. That's all I got.
Solid show.
I liked it. I had fun. It was nice to have you back, man.
I appreciate being back. I'm glad we got to get this weekend.
Mm-hmm. It was dicey there for a second. I was like, oh boy. I almost texted Matt. I'm like, just be ready. But he had birthday celebration plans and everything like that, and I didn't want to ruin it. Like, let the guy have his cake and eat it too.
That's true. That's true. Happy birthday, Matt.
Happy birthday. We love you, Matt. Jason, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can always follow me personally on Twitter, twitter.com/JasonInquires. Jason Inquires is also my Facebook username, Instagram, and YouTube. I said to the Toys to Life centric accounts of Brick Inquirer and Skylanders Inquirer as well. And don't forget, add me on Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, Revolution J1, or whatever the number was earlier in the show. I didn't write it down, but
yeah.
Revolution J1. Or tweet me. I'll give it to you.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, everybody should have been writing it down anyway, so they should already have it.
Sure.
You can follow me on Twitter personally at The Noise. Follow the show on Twitter at Toys4Games. Email us, podcast@toysforgames.com. Check out the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/toys4games. Go over there, hang out with Ken and the rest of the group. Always some good, fun discussions going on in there. Website where everything is hosted is toysforgames.com. If you'd like to support us and what we're doing here for everybody in the community, you could do so on Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. And don't forget about the Disney Infinity Gameplay Nights. Jason's going to be pushing that out as much as he can once all the information is locked and loaded and ready to go. You will be hard-pressed to not be able to find the information needed. It's going to be fun. If you're a Disney Infinity fan, you want one last hurrah with the community, this is the way to go. So be on the lookout for that very, very soon. With that being said, hope everybody had a wonderful Groundhog's Day. We will do this again tomorrow, bright and early, all over again. We'll celebrate Matt's birthday. It'll be a great time. But until next time, happy hunting, collectors.